Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I did explain it to you guys that what is a secure site, right? Any questions on that? Any doubt, any question that why are we using it? What is it? How do we use it? And anything? Maybe I won't explain everything, but I can tell you कि ये आपके काम में आने ही नहीं वाला है. So don't worry. For example, how to uh, how to secure a certificate, how to obtain a certificate लाते कैसे, उसको install कैसे करते हैं, ये सब. You don't have to worry. Teams will have your IIS administrator, so they will take care of it. Apart from that, any questions, guys?
Sir, but it's just a matter of certificate to create a secure website.
Secure side, yes.
Uh, okay. Not more than that. There is nothing that we need to do in the background.
You don't have to do even the certificate part. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Your application will team do, because you don't get the certificate. Don't get to uh, acquire the certificate. That's a different role altogether. So you don't have to worry about
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Okay, then we discussed how a secure site works. What is in a secure site? The only difference is whatever traffic which you are sending in an unsecure site, it will go as a plain text. In a secure site, it will go with encrypted, and that traffic will be decrypted on your server. And because of that, there could be some latency, right? This is the difference between secure side and unsecure side. So here, when it comes to application gateway has one feature which is called SSL termination. Now what is this SSL termination? Even in your interviews, no one is going to explain the whole story to you. They will simply ask whether do you know SSL termination or you don't know, or what is the difference between SSL termination and end-to-end encryption, or what is the difference between SSL termination and unencrypted traffic. They can ask anything, right? So this is your SSL termination, what we are going to see now. We are not looking at how part, so don't worry कि portal पे कैसे होगा, how do we do that. We are not discussing that now. That we are going to do tomorrow. I'll show you. Tomorrow I'll create one application gateway before the class, and then I'll show you what options I have selected, because application gateway itself takes 30 minutes to get created. So I'll prepare one. By the way, anyone who, if someone is trying application gateway, do not run it for more than 1 hour. It will drain all your balance in 1 hour. So don't run it more than for 1 hour. Try it, capture screenshots, and then delete it immediately. Don't do it today. You won't be able to delete it as well. That's I'll show it to you tomorrow, how to create, how to delete. That we are going to do tomorrow. Today, just focus on what part. What does it mean? How to explain the theory part, right? So the other feature which we have in application gateway, and which is definitely not there in load balancer, and this is a decisive thing, right? इसकी वजह से ही काफी लोग एप्लीकेशन गेटवे पर जाते हैं and not the load balancer. One is this, one is WAF. So this is SSL termination. Now, what is SSL termination, guys? Now I explained it to you, right? That your certificate will be here. एक client certificate होता है जो हर browser पे by default install हो जाता है. It is by those organizations who are selling the certificate. For example, GoDaddy. It is their job to get in touch with Google कि आपके हर Chrome के application installation के वक्त ही हमारे certificates चले जाने चाहिए. Uh, get in touch with Microsoft so it can have an edge, Safari browser, etc. It is their job. You don't have to do anything. And at server level, you will install the certificate, as in your IIS team, your application team, they will install the certificate, and then it will travel like this. It will be secure. यहाँ पर आके वो unencrypt हो जाएगा आपका सर्वर वगैरह, सर्वर पे आके आपका user ID password. It will be decrypted, not unencrypt. Sorry, that's the incorrect word. It will be decrypted, and then you will be able to access whatever services that server is providing, a website, facebook.com, sbi.com, anything. But because of this, what happens, there is a slowness, right? So now with application gateway, what do we get which we do not have in load balancer? So how it works, that instead of having that certificate on the server, what you can do, you can have one application gateway, right? Let's say that these are your multiple servers. Now when we're talking about application gateway, obviously we have multiple servers, right? Because we're talking about the redundancy here. So we may have multiple servers here, right? So we can have multiple servers here. So these are the servers. What can we do? एक चीज है कि आप यहाँ पर load balancer लगा दोगे. This will be your backend. Another thing is that you can have your application gateway. So when you put your application gateway in front of this, let me see my visual. I have not used it for for a long time. I'm not sure if I have all the icons here or not. So if I don't get application gateway, we'll simply pick anything and name it as application gateway. I'll update it by tomorrow. Here it is. Right. So if I put an application gateway here in front of this, and the backend will be these machines. Now it's not necessary only some virtual machine can be there. It can have anything, right? When it comes to backend, it can have anything in the backend, right? But in this case, let's say we have our virtual machines. So these virtual machines, if I have, and if I'm connecting my load balancer to these virtual machines, let's say this is backend. Again, don't worry guys, don't worry about the how part. ये कैसे कर रहे हैं, इतने सारे machines हम कैसे ऐड करेंगे, you don't have to worry. By the way, it's similar thing what we did to load balancer. कोई बड़ा rocket science नहीं है. Once you have done it to load balancer, you'll be able to do it here as well. Got it? So this is your backend pool on your application gateway. And now your traffic is coming from your clients. Now, where will the traffic be gone directly? Are we directly sharing our server's IP address, or what IP are we going to share, guys? In this case, yes. If this is the
Server
setup,
IP.
sorry?
Load balancer IP.
Yes. Which IP load balancers? Public IP or
Public
private
IP.
IP?
Public IP.
Right.
Public.
Load balancer. In this case, this is which service are we using for our load balancer? Application gateway. So we are going to share our application gateway's public IP to all the users. Now this is, I'm just showing one user. We can have multiple users here. Got it? This is just one user I'm showing. We can have multiple users. All these users are connecting to your application gateway. Now they are not going directly to your server. All these users are going to your application gateway. Fine. Now, what can happen here? One thing, it's you do not use secure website at all. Just use port 80. So this is the setup. This is your final setup. इतना ही है. That's it. Front end, users, back end. बीच में कुछ settings है, health probe वगैरह application gateway में भी होगा. We are going to see that. But that's all you have to do. No other feature, nothing. You don't have to worry. But if your application is secure, because load balancer doesn't support HTTPS, and your application is a banking application or some financial application, and you want to have this one, right? You have to have application, you have to have a secure website. So what you can do here is to increase the performance, that certificate which you installed on your servers, you can install one certificate. By the way, just because you have to install it on multiple servers, that does not mean you have to pay for multiple certificates. Okay, so there is no monetary benefit here in terms of certificate. वो एक ही certificate आप सारे servers पे लगाते हो. Okay, so don't consider that thing here. वो एक ही certificate आप यहाँ पर लगाते हो, और अगर आप application gateway पे जा रहे हो तो भी एक ही certificate use होगा. So don't think that you are saving some cost here. It's not about cost. It is about performance. So what you'll have to do here is you'll have to come to this application gateway. An application gateway gives you one option where you can upload that certificate. Which certificate? The one which you have got from your domain seller. In this case, let's say Big Rocks or GoDaddy. From GoDaddy you have got a certificate. तो वो certificate आप जो है यहाँ पर install कर सकते हो. You can install a certificate here. Got it, guys? If this is your application gateway, you can install a certificate here. यहाँ पर आपको मिलता है एक certificate installation option. Is this clear? That what is the difference between this one? What is the difference between your load balancer and application gateway? Here you get an option to install the certificate. Now what will happen? Every traffic which you are getting, इसका सारा का सारा जो है आपका ट्रैफिक यहां से जाएगा. ऑब्वियसली इट इज गोइंग फ्रॉम हियर, राइट? सो वॉट एवर यूजर आईडी एंड पासवर्ड यू हैव टाइप यहाँ पर, इट इज गेटिंग इनक्रिप्टेड. ये कैसे इनक्रिप्ट हो रहा है? विद द हेल्प ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट. यहां पर भी सर्टिफिकेट होगा. आई शोड यू एसबीआई के ब्राउजर पे एक सर्टिफिकेट दिख रहा था हम लोगों को. डिड यू गाइस सी दैट?
Yes.
हु इज पुटिंग
Yes.
दैट
Yes.
सर्टिफिकेट हियर? आर यू गाइस डूइंग दैट इंडिविजुअली, हर एक अपने
No.
यूजर्स को? नो.
No.
जिससे
No.
भी आपने सर्टिफिकेट परचेज किया, इट इज देयर जॉब. हाउ दे डू इट वी डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट इट, बट सर्टिफिकेट विल बी देयर. सो यहाँ पर वो इनक्रिप्ट हो जाएगा. एंड नाउ द इनक्रिप्टेड ट्रैफिक इज traveling from here to here. Now, what happens before it goes to your server? Because you have installed your parent certificate here or root certificate here or whatever you want to call it, that certificate at your application gateway. So वो ट्रैफिक को यहीं पे decrypt कर देगा. आपके उस यूजर आईडी और पासवर्ड को वो यहीं पे decrypt कर देगा. Okay? It will be decrypted here itself. It's not yet gone to your server, and now from your load balancer to your server, could be any server, whichever is up, वो health prop पे डिपेंड करता है. ठीक है, लेट्स से इस सर्वर पे ज्यादा ट्रैफिक है, ये सर्वर डाउन है, अ, ये सर्वर रीस्टार्ट हो रहा है फॉर एनी रीजन, और इस सर्वर पे भी बहुत ट्रैफिक है. सो दिस वन इज सुटेबल फॉर हिम. तो यहां से जो ये ट्रैफिक जाएगा इस सर्वर पे, दिस इज ऑलरेडी अ decrypted ट्रैफिक. So your server won't have to spend one more second or few more seconds on server on the decryption. It will directly give the answer. Okay, यहाँ plain text में आ गया सर्वर के पास. सर्वर will check, हाँ ये user ID and password is valid. So whatever was the request, Facebook अकाउंट का पिक्चर चेक करना है, एसबीआई का बैलेंस चेक करना है, और whatever was the website, आपके पे स्लिप चेक करनी है, whatever the website is, it will quickly respond to you. So this is how it helps. इज दिस क्लियर गाइस? अगेन ये ट्रैफिक जो है आपका डिक्रिप्टेड मोड में ट्रैवल करेगा, यहां से फिर इनक्रिप्टेड मोड में ट्रैफिक ट्रैवल करेगा, और यहां पर आके फिर से वो डिक्रिप्ट होगा. सेम मेथड अप्लाइज. इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन? हाउ एप्लीकेशन गेटवे हेल्प्स अस एंड व्हाट इज एसएसएल टर्मिनेशन? This is the reason it is called SSL termination, because it is terminating your solid secure layer. So secure socket layer it is called. You can simply check what is SSL, right? This is how it helps you. Is this clear, guys? It's a secure
Yes.
Yes.
socket layer which is traveling from here till your application gateway. Now you might ask, यार यहाँ पर आके ये हो गया तो what if someone do the network sniffing here? That is not possible, because this is backend पे जो है ये आपका प्राइवेट नेटवर्क शुरू हो गया. एंड इफ समवन कैन डू इट हियर, वो आपके सर्वर पे भी कर सकता है, राइट? यहाँ पे आपका प्राइवेट नेटवर्क शुरू हो जाता है. द मेजोरिटी ऑफ द टाइम इट हैपेंस इन द पब्लिक नेटवर्क. तो पब्लिक नेटवर्क में ये इनक्रिप्टेड ही आ रहा है, एप्लीकेशन गेटवे पे आके डिक्रिप्ट हो रहा है, एंड देन इट इज ट्रैवलिंग टू योर सर्वर, टू योर बैकएंड सर्वर. इट इज ट्रैवलिंग in decrypted format. So you can say यहाँ पर भी हो सकता है. Yes, it is possible, but someone who can do it, though it's very difficult, someone to come to your private network and do it, but someone who can do it here, that person can do it here as well. Is it clear, guys? Did you get it? What is SSL termination? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes. Yes. SSL termination is clear.
What about others, guys? Munir,
Yes.
Sohail bhai,
Prabhat,
it is
Sunil.
also
Yes, Sunil.
acting like a load balancer
Ye-
application gateway, because it is not only decrypt the user ID and password, but it is balancing the load as well, right?
I would rephrase your sentence, Imran bhai. It is not also
Hmm.
acting like a load balancer. It is a load balancer. Don't forget what is the topic we are discussing. We are discussing
Okay,
Load.
load
okay, okay.
balancer. It is a load balancer.
Hmm.
This is just an additional feature. This is not for
Okay,
decryption.
okay, okay.
You can have simple traffic. 80 वाले traffic भी आप कर सकते हो इस पे. This is not for
अच्छा.
decryption encryption. This is a load balancer. उसका काम ही है load को balance करना. But with that, it is giving you
Hmm.
additional feature which is load balancer is not giving you. ये वाला जो हमारा load balancer है, this load balancer, this one is not giving us that feature, right? But application gateway is giving us that feature.
Hmm.
काम तो उसका एक्चुअल काम तो लोड बैलेंसर ही है. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर डिस्कसिंग, व्हाट वी हैव स्टार्टेड विद आवर सेशन. हमने डिस्कस ही किया था यहाँ
Hmm.
से, डिफरेंस बिटवीन
बराबर
लोड
बोला.
बैलेंसर एंड एप्लीकेशन गेटवे. इसमें एक छोटा पॉइंट है विच इज ओके, यहाँ पर नहीं लिखा है. सी दिस इज द रीजन वी आर डिस्कसिंग इट सेपरेटली, बिकॉज यहाँ पर नहीं लिखा है, राइट? That it supports SSL termination and this doesn't support SSL termination. But here it is, इस point में वो अपने आप implied है. ट्रैफिक नॉन HTTP HTTPS के लिए आप वो यूज करोगे. Got it, guys?
Yes, understood.
Understood.
Yes. Anyone else who did not understand? Hanif, were you asking something? Sunil, Prabhat, Munir, do you guys have any doubts, any questions?
No.
Okay. Now, one more thing is there, that if you want to have end-to-end encryption, then what? Right? End-to-end encryption में क्या होगा? You will have to have one certificate here as well. If you want कि ये बैकएंड में जो ट्रैफिक प्राइवेट नेटवर्क पे जा रहा है ना, ये भी मुझको encrypted ही चाहिए. Then what can you do? Similar concept applies. It will decrypt it here. यहाँ पर वो इसको decrypt करेगा, फिर से एक नए सर्टिफिकेट के साथ encrypt करेगा, and then this will be decrypted on the server. But इससे आपका application definitely थोड़ा सा performance issue होगा. You might ask, why should we do that? Why would we do that? This is just for the security. People who are not concerned about the performance. By the way, ऐसा भी नहीं होता कि performance बिल्कुल ही down होता है. You guys have been using Citibank, Axis Bank, ICICI, SBI, right? ये सब सारे लोग जो है SSL यूज करते ही है. So it's not that कि बहुत drastically down होता है. So if you want double security, more security, extra security, you can have the traffic encrypted from your application gateway to your server as well. Concept same ही रहेगा. How we do that? That part we are not doing it today, but just for your hint, I'll show you. Everything can be done from your settings, backend settings. जैसे आपके पास load balancer में backend था, similarly we have here backend. तो बैकएंड पे जो भी आप सेलेक्ट करते हो, दिस इज बिटवीन योर एप्लीकेशन गेटवे एंड योर बैकएंड सर्वर्स. बैकएंड सेटिंग में यू कैन सेलेक्ट वेदर यू वांट एंड टू एंड एन्क्रिप्शन और SSL termination. These things you can decide, or you can mention, and this thing you have to do. You cannot leave this to your application owner. This is what as an Azure administrator you should understand and you should do, right? So this is what you can do at the backend setting. But we are going to see that how part we are going to see for tomorrow. Today I don't want for you to have too much of it, और कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आएगा. So is this part clear, guys, till here? What is SSL termination? First thing, what is SSL? यूज क्यों होता है? 80 में क्या है? 443 में क्या है? What is the difference? Just because you put a certificate, then how will it react or how will it work? Certificate कौन देता है? कहाँ से ये होता है? Uh, are all these questions and doubts clear for you?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Okay. I think we have enough time, 10 plus minutes we have, right? And I'm done with the theory part. And I don't want to start the practical today. It will be too much. Tomorrow, very first session itself, I'm going to start application gateway practical. And remaining sessions I'm going to keep for revision of all the networking, whatever we have done in this segment, revision, questions, doubts. So by tomorrow, please come up with questions, etc. And today, if you have any question related to load balancer or application gateway, please ask. If you guys do not have questions, we'll go ahead and discuss the subscriptions, etc. I think subscriptions have been expired.
Yes.
But first, let me close it to the questions, etc. Do you guys have any questions, any doubt? Load balancer, anything, guys?
No.
Okay. By the way, I was telling you कि application gateway के पीछे आपका load balancer लग सकता है. So there, I did not mean exactly like this. Though this is also possible. Okay? That your users are coming from outside, and this is your uh, application layer. This is also possible. But what I was talking about is that this is your load balancer.
बट उसकी जरूरत क्या है जब एप्लीकेशन गेटवे ही एक लोड बैलेंसर का काम कर रहा है तो दूसरी जगह लोड बैलेंसर लगाने की आई डोंट थिंक सो कुछ जरूरत होनी चाहिए.
Why not? I'll tell you why. Let me
Hmm.
draw this diagram first.
Sure.
So this is what I was talking about.
हम्म,
जो ऊपर बनाया है, दिस इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल, राइट? Why would we use this? Because I want to use SSL termination, I want to use path based. इसलिए मैं पब्लिक जो है, पब्लिक फेसिंग जो मेरा ये है, उस पे आई एम यूजिंग एप्लीकेशन गेटवे। बट बैकएंड में भी मुझको ये चाहिए, कुछ ना कुछ रिडंडेंसी चाहिए। इफ आई डोंट हैव द लोड बैलेंसर एंड ओनली वन मशीन, देन इज इट हाईली अवेलेबल मशीन? यहाँ पर अगर सिर्फ एक ही मशीन होगा तो इज इट हाईली अवेलेबल एप्लीकेशन?
no.
No. So if I have multiple machines, I have to have some sort of load balancer.
Correct.
But why should I
हम्म,
use application gateway? Because remember, application gateway is way too costlier compared to load balancer. तो यहाँ पर अगर मुझको application gateway के feature use ही नहीं करने, then why should I have application gateway? So that is
हम्म,
the scenario for the first diagram. Is this clear, guys? Why will we have this kind of setup? कि जहां पे पब्लिक फेसिंग एप्लीकेशन गेटवे लगेगा, बिकॉज आई वांट टू हैव एंड टू एंड पूरा जो है किसी तरह से हाईली अवेलेबल चाहिए। तो वहां पर भी मुझको बैकएंड में भी 4-5 सर्वर चाहिए, डेटाबेस में भी 4-5 चाहिए। एंड द मोमेंट आई हैव मोर देन वन सर्वर, तो वो ये अप्लाई आ जाएगा, लॉजिक अप्लाई हो जाएगा। देन हाउ डू आई एक्सेस मल्टीपल सर्वर्स? तो लोड बैलेंसर पिक्चर में आना ही है। बट इंटरनली जो है मेरा एप्लीकेशन सर्वर पे पब्लिक प्राइवेट आईपी है, इस पे भी प्राइवेट आईपी है, बाकी सब कुछ प्राइवेट है। तो यहाँ पर वैसे ही सब कुछ सिक्योर है। देन व्हाई शुड आई यूज एप्लीकेशन गेटवे? आई डोंट हैव एनी रिक्वायरमेंट और नीड के जहां पर मैं एप्लीकेशन गेटवे यूज करूँ, राइट? सो आई विल यूज लोड बैलेंसर। इज दिस क्लियर, द फर्स्ट डायग्राम?
yes.
नाउ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फर्स्ट सेगमेंट। इतना जो ना एप्लीकेशन ये है एप्लीकेशन टीयर, इसकी ही बात कर रहा हूँ। यहाँ पर भी इफ आई हैव थ्री ऑफ माई सर्वर्स, दो आई कैन अचीव दैट यूजिंग VNet पेयरिंग एटसेट्रा एज वेल, वो भी कर सकते हैं। बट इमेजिन दैट आई हैव थ्री ऑफ माई सर्वर्स हियर। Let's say that I have, let me get the virtual machine icon. So if I have three servers here in East US and three servers in West US, or two servers here in West US. Now, can I connect all these five machines directly to application gateway?
No, you can't connect it directly. I
Why
have
not?
to ज्यादा लोड पड़ जाएगा ना उस पे, एक स्पीड
No, no,
से
no.
मतलब
No, it's not about load. We can definitely, we can, right? VNet पेयरिंग करके, जहां पर जिस VNet में आपका एप्लीकेशन
हाँ
गेटवे है,
भी
उस VNet का पेयरिंग कर दो यूजिंग IP एड्रेस। यस, यू कैन। So technically it is not impossible, but I want more
हम्म,
redundancy. I want more redundancy, right? I want more redundancy. So what I can do, I can have this setup, that here I will have application gateway के backend में load balancers, and behind the load balancer I will have these machines. So if something goes wrong, I should get maximum redundancy. This is also possible. Got it, guys?
yeah.
So both cases are possible. Application gateway, behind that you have your direct servers, and those servers will be communicating with some engine server जहाँ पे काम होना है। Actually I discussed the example of face app, जहाँ पे वो आपके फोटो पे वर्किंग करता है, right? It makes you look younger or older, whatever input you have given. So there's a server, and if you want to save that, there's a database server, right? So if you're using multiple servers, load balancer has to be there. But if you're not using all the features of application gateway, then internally, why to have application gateway? That time you can have the first diagram, and the second diagram also you can have. Clear to everyone? By the way, this is also possible, guys. This is also possible. Load balancer and load balancer behind the load balancer. This is also possible. I don't want to use any application gateway feature. I'm not using SSL, I'm not using path based. So why should I pay extra? Whatever I'm getting as a cheaper, why shouldn't I use that? Right? So I can use this one as well. The only difference here will be this will be your public load balancer and these will be your internal load balancers. The moment you select load, let's go here. If you select, look at this. If you remember load balancer, if I start deploying a load balancer, if I select internal, see if I select internal, I'll have to give one public IP. By the way, here we can just give public IP and uh, keep rest of the settings. We can do it later. In application gateway, we'll have to do the complete setting at the time of creation as well. Okay, I have the public IP here. In backend pool, I will get only machines, right? But here, if I select public global, so here I will get to select, obviously this is going to be front end IP. So here in the backend, I will be able to see other load balancers. If you have any load balancers, you'll be able to see those load balancers here. You'll be able to add those load balancers. Can you see? Now this is my actual load balancer जिसपे हम देख रहे थे वो load balancer यहाँ पर आ रहा है. And I'm not able to add the machines. I'm able to add directly load balancer. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So you can have this setup as well. Okay, so this is all about load balancer and application gateway, etc. We are just going to do the practical of application gateway tomorrow. I'll show you how to create it, how to delete it, everything, and then you can do the practical. So now any question? We have 10 minutes left. Now I got the pop-up. We have 10 minutes left. Anyone has any questions, any doubt, please do let me know.